Hello and welcome to part 2 of painting Gordrakk, the Fist of Gork. Today we're going to be painting Gordrakk himself, if we can get this organized. So I changed, full disclosure, I changed the paint scheme again. So instead of black, we're going to do blue armor. So it's a red, white, and blue Freedom Orc dealio. So we're gonna go for that, and their bases are gonna have this little rocky stuff on it, which is the Agrillin Badlands stuff on there. So it's all deserty and cool. So let's get to it with our contrast paints. The good old faithful contrast paints. So we're gonna start with our skin, and that's our Plague Bearer flesh. I really like this color. It's a really sickly green. And you know, when you have a favorite color, it's hard to find like the one that you want. And I think this one does a really good job, which maybe that means I'm overusing it. I definitely used it on our Tyrannid paint scheme that we were doing. So who's to say? Who's to say what's too much? Well, actually, you guys are. You guys are the ones. Rick, I think you're in a little bit of a slump. You just keep painting the same colors over and over again. Which, that's a fair assessment. If that's what you think. I mean, if that's what you think, let me know. I can't get better if you don't tell me. I mean, and don't just be like, you suck. That's not constructive. Give me something actionable. Give me something actionable. So let's just make sure we're getting all those little crevices there. You can kind of see his chest through here. So just do what you can to get what you can while you can. Okay. Now let's go to hands. Trying to preserve the white as best we can. Can't wait to do this to the test on like something that I've actually primed white and stuff with the Zenithal, because right now this is all stuff I just had to hand paint with the white because I didn't want to spray the Maw Crusher. I wanted to preserve some of the colors that we have on it. So here we are, the hand painted white orc, or Gordrakk. More specifically, he's not just a orc. He is Gordrakk? Is that what his name is? Yeah, I think Gordrakk. Anyway, or he's just a war boss or mega boss on a Maw Crusher. Either way, pretty dope. I like this model a lot. It's got a lot of detail and features on it that really help it stand out on the table and set it as, you know, as the big leader of the army. But also with that comes him becoming the big target of the table. So the enemy will have to they'll usually pour their resources into murking this dude pretty quickly. So some people don't spend all the points, put the points in there on him, because he's just gonna get killed as soon as possible. Why would you waste the points? But, you know, theming and all that. You want a cool orc that can command your army, that can command the respect of the swamp orcs. it's definitely this dude. Now these are gonna definitely be a little bit hard to miss those areas, but I think the blue should go over it fine. If it is the blue in that area. Some of it might be white, so you might have to go back through. We definitely have some red on his feet too that we'll have to fix, because back in the day when I was painting this, he was originally gonna have black armor, and that makes things a lot simpler when you're working with contrast paints. But we ain't working with contrast, we ain't working with regular paints, that's what I meant. We're using contrast paints, so that makes things a little bit more involved. I also got this new color, this gunmetal gray. I want to try that out on some stuff. I got some props that I'm building for other things, and it's a really cool color to put on it. Also went through and put the blue on here. You can see the blue in here. Boop, boop, boop. It's just a really dark blue, and it works really well because it's still not like, it's not like a crazy bright like ultramarines blue, and it gets us the effect that we want, which is Captain America orcs. Wasn't originally the plan, but it became the plan when I was like, I don't want to use just black on my model. I want more color. I want more. So that's how we got to where we are. So let's just, since we have it out, let's get the white over the top of some of these guys that we hit on accident. It's gonna help us with our painting later. Those are bones, so I want that to look a certain way. And clean that up. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's go with our Gordrakk flesh, which is somewhere in this pile. Here it is, Gordrakk fur. We'll get all our strappings. Did I include the strappings on the weapons? I did. Okay, wait, let me make sure. Let me double check. Yes, I did. Okay. So, take our Gordrakk and we get all the areas where we have the brown. So it's gonna be this. Clean it off there as soon as we can, like that. It's gonna be his little necklace guy. These little ties that are on these things. This little rope here. So one on this side, like in between here. Can't really see it, but we'll get it anyway. See, we got some more up here. Let's see, I'm giving the ones on the weapons like a little bit of time so that the skin can dry before I go onto it with another contrast paint, just to help it out a little bit. Get the back piece right here, this pole. There's a belt that we gotta get. And like I've said before, like usually you would have this separate. You wouldn't just be painting it on top of this guy. if you were being smart about your prep and all that. But since this model was already glued on here, I'm kind of stuck right now having to do it this way, which is not the recommended way. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Okay, so we get that. Now let's get the pieces here, the wraps on the weapons. Again, I'm starting farthest away from the hands right now just because I'm trying to give them as much time as I can to dry before we move in with this paint here. It's not on that side, so we'll have to go in. And just kind of keep as pretty far away from the edge, and then just let it drip into there. I mean, obviously not like soaking wet brush, but you know, you have enough on your brush to where it will flow into those little areas. Just get under there. Get this one. Just kind of do your best to maneuver the model to paint while you're doing this. The reason I didn't take him off his base, I've already, I think, explained in the last video, was that he's pretty glued flat right there and there. I don't want to rip a part of the model off. I think that might be pretty destructive if we did that. It'd be pretty catastrophic. Okay, so that's all the Gorgunta fur. So now let's move into the red, which is our Blood Angels red. And then pick out some areas that we want to be red on this guy. I think usually a good rule of thumb for me is like these raised bits of metal that look like they're attached to the piece separately. I think that's a good kind of rule to follow because, you know, it's a separate piece that was found, so maybe they had to take it off an enemy and put it on there. But you don't always have that luxury. So we'll just kind of start going through and picking some of these out. Do the left knee pad like we did on our Mega Boss. You can think of this too as kind of like a ranking kind of markings. You know, maybe like the big leaders have both their knees red, and like the other guys have just one. If they're like slightly under, maybe he's got some shoulder pads that are red. You know, just think about that kind of stuff. So we paint one of these red and one of these red. And let me get under there like that. And let me see. Let's do, because you don't want this red because it's too close to that. It might be a little weird to do it on this one because that's really close on this shoulder pad. So maybe let's keep that white. Let's look at the back here. Got this one here, which we can do there's this big piece right here, which we might leave white. There's a bunch of strapping that we missed, so we'll go into that. But let's do this shoulder pad. Let's go for it. Let's give him a nice red shoulder pad to show that he is one with his mount, that he does not fear anyone, because he knows he's going to be the big target, so he might as well make himself bright and shiny for his enemies to see. And some like Deadpool logic so that he can't see his own blood. I don't know, what color is orc blood? Is it blue? Just get it into these little recesses here, so bear with me for 1 minute here. Oops. Well, I hit the camera, the trademark hit of the camera. We've crossed the threshold, we've done it. Okay. So then we've got some of these little sticking out pieces on here, which, let's get this one red since it already has some of the red on it. And then we'll leave the other one white. That'll be white. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, let's go back to the Gordrakk fur really fast. And get the top bits here. Little ropes that are on his armor. Up top here, what are they holding on? I don't know, but they're there, so we're making them work. All right, cool. So now we can go into our blue, and which is our this color right here, this Leviathan blue. And I would recommend probably starting from the top and working down just in case it drips. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll do what I say. We'll do what I said I was gonna do. That way, if it drips down the model, it has a less chance of messing things up because we haven't painted there yet. So let's get in there the best we can. Get this alongside here. Clean this here, get the shoulder pad. Probably gonna have to hit these teeth tusks that are hanging off here with the white again, just to make sure that when we do the wash later, it's covered properly. So we're getting in that little tight area, and then we can work onto this shoulder pad. And just go slow around the other areas that we've already painted. Especially the skin. This is where, like on my other one, it was fine that I painted it black first, because in these little recesses here, it was okay to leave it black because you can't really see in there anyway. Oops. I almost went and painted this thing that we said was going to be white, and I almost painted it with the blue. That would have made me a liar. So let's just... You can always hit it with white again later, so... But we're trying to avoid that. So just be a little careful. Okay. Let's see what we can see here. This big piece right here kind of, like if I were gonna do this separate, I probably wouldn't put that necklace on yet either, just because it is very in the way of this part. Oops, and I just hit it with a bunch of stuff. Okay, hold on, just kind of, excuse me for a second while I get in there. Okay, and then got more in there, and then we got this chest going on. It's definitely, sorry, it's definitely a little awkward in here. Okay. You can see that he has just pants showing there on the top here, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's go through the side here. Get this side. Okay, so we changed the armor to blue, and then we changed the pants to gray. And the other, like the wrist wrappings to gray. Just to give, that we wash with a Nuln oil. I think that works for us. Okay, now we can get these feet here. And then just be careful when we're around the maw crusher, because we do not want to mess up what we did on him. Sorry about the camera angle. This is just it's a little rough to paint this guy. He's pretty big. I'm just holding him in my hand, so I'm doing the best I can. With what I have, so. You get that. Let's kind of tilt it sideways like this, and then get in there, and then, you know, we'll probably have to hit this thing. We'll paint it white in a second once we get all of it painted, because it's a little bit of a pain right now juggling around this model. When you hit the pants, it's okay, because the paint will just go over the top of it, so just try to get the whole armor piece, which is what we did there by stabbing into it. And same thing on this side. Be careful on the bottom first to make sure that we're getting all of, does he have, so this one he has more of like an armor on his feet than the other side. I think for the boots, the wrappings on the boots should be the Gordrakk fur also. So I might have to go in with Gordrakk and hit those really quick. And that way, while this whole thing is drying, it can really be done when we're done. Can't really see there or get there, so that's how that's gonna have to be. And then let's get this piece here, which may or may not be bone on the actual Gordrakk model, and we're gonna paint it like the rest of the armor. Minus the little tooth that's up there. We'll leave that white. Which I guess I painted over it on accident, because sometimes these pieces are hard to tell what's what. Okay, and then we get here. Leave that white. And then we'll make this red really quick. This is another thing too with orcs, like I kind of want to make sure like the colors fit, so that I might go back through with with parts that I thought I was gonna leave white, and then go paint them red just because of how they look when the blue's on here now. And I definitely want probably more blue than white on these models anyway. Okay, let's paint this guy blue here. And this guy blue here. And this guy here blue. Okay. So now let's get the red and then the Gordrakk, and then we'll let the contrast dry before we go in with real paints. I mean, not this is real paint, it's, you know, different paints. Non-contrast paints, there we go, we'll just say that. Make this here red. I got some on his thing, which is fine, and then get in here while we can. And we'll hit the teeth later. Okay. Actually, what we can do is it's still wet. No, we can't. We can't get it. Let's get our Gordrakk and get the whole back of this foot here. It looks like it's wrapped the whole way, so we'll just hit it with our Gordrakk fur color all the way to the top. And I think this leg doesn't have it, has like more of a boot looking thing on it. So let me just get it down there. Okay. So I know myself, and I know that this is gonna bug me. So I'm gonna hit the top of the hand here with some white, and we'll repaint that with the skin tone. Also, while we're here, we're gonna go in here, get all this stuff that we painted that we don't want to have paint on, and paint it white for when we do the other stuff later. Let me clean that up a bit more. Which isn't a whole lot of spots that we messed up on, especially since like we're putting a real color on that as well. I think we're in a good spot. Okay, cool. So I'll paint that really quick with some Plague Bearer flesh again, and then we'll let this dry, and then we'll go on to the next step. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, we're back, and my kitty is he's being really talkative today. I don't know what's going on, but let's continue on now. Let's get the pants. We got everything all dry on him. For the contrast, let's go our medium sea gray for pants, because what would one of my armies be without medium sea gray in it? I realize I'm using it a lot, so maybe we can remedy that for future projects, but not this one. Not this one. So we're gonna get a little kitty crying this whole time. So I hope you guys enjoy that. He has a lot to say. I'm not sure what he's saying, but he wants to say it for sure. Hey buddy, what's going on? You got a lot to say today, bud. Uh-huh. Okay, you're gonna go in the window? So pardon that while that happens today. Hopefully he doesn't jump on the desk in the middle of painting, because that won't be fun, but we'll see what happens. So just like when we were doing our contrasts, some of this stuff is pretty tight in there. So we're gonna do our best to get it covered and get it covered nicely. To the best of our ability. Oh God, of course I got it on the red. This is usually why I start with the pants first. But since there was so much contrast to do, I thought it wouldn't be a problem. But we'll learn from this, and definitely all our other guys start with the pants, like we always talk about doing. Okay, so the pants are all painted. Definitely have to fix some of that. Okay, now we're gonna go into our rust brown for all the wood and the boots and all that kind of stuff. Where is this? Oh, whole red, sorry, not rust brown. I think whole red was the color. So let's take that. And then start going after all of our parts that are this color. Let's work one section at a time so that we do our best not to forget stuff like we have been. So back here, we have this boot here for this foot. And this is where I'm like, God, I wish he wasn't attached to this model, because painting this would be so much easier. But since when are we doing stuff like the super easy way? you doing? Sorry, I'm just talking my cat off his ledge, whatever he's doing. He's just having a grand old time. Okay, so this is a wooden stick here. At least that's what I'm gonna say it is. So let's get that painted. Okay. So that's it for all the wood. Maybe, no, okay, good. Okay, now let's go to the metals with our gunmetal. Oh, you know what? We messed up on the, we didn't mess up, so we'll put that there. But we're gonna continue with our medium sea gray because this is also the color of the axes. So let's get these axes painted. Still kind of wanted it to kind of be like that these are stone axes. And they've just like figured out how to sharpen and bless you. What are you doing? You sneezing? Just get all of this covered. That one. And this one still kind of has some of the gray from the old way we painted it, which is still kind of the same. It's still the same way that we did it. So it's okay that we don't get all of it, but we did want to get the parts that were white. Okay. Now we go into the metallics. So we're definitely going to have to get these chains again, coming from the Maw Crusher, because we hit them a few times with paint, as well as these pieces of chainmail in the front here. Let me look on this for anything else in the front. And we get the chain on the bull here. And then there's these earrings that he has too, that we're also gonna get. And we rotate and get here, clean up these ones, all these hooks and connections here, we're getting with that. And I'm also noticing that I've missed more spots with the gray, so we'll have to go back again. Get the back here, get like this little thingy. This looks like wood on here actually, so let's take our rust color here, and this looks like a big like plank of wood. Like if you look in the back here, it has like two pieces hooked together, so let's treat it like that. So just kind of go through the motions here. We'll have to get those spikes cleaned up later. Make sure where the skull is touching though that we want that to be our skull colors, so we'll make sure to leave that alone for now. And we'll treat this bottom piece like a horn, just to kind of separate some colors. Oops, just to separate some colors some more on here. So here, we're gonna go back here, back here, the front here. And that's my dryer. Boo, 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 boo. We want to get this before we paint all the nails in here. A different color to separate everything for us. Okay, so there's that. That'll work. And we go back to this, and then we get all these like protruding nails and stuff. It's okay that the brown's on it because that way it'll maybe make it look a little bit more rusted. Like some rusted nails are in here and stuff like that, so totally fine to do this while this is wet. Go to the back, get the backs of the nails along with like the tops of them and all of that. Okay. So like I said, we missed some gray. So we're gonna go for that really quick. And it's just the ties on the wrists right here. I don't think we have enough down. Always running out of gray. So let's go here. That's better. Okay. Okay, now we need to come back in. Well, no, let's do the other piece first. Let's get our German camo beige World War II for the little beardy bit that's hanging off the front here. Because that way when we clean up the white, we can just do it in one swoop instead of having to go back for stuff. So let's just okay, so there's that. We also want to look and see if there's anywhere else that this color needs to go, because I've been missing those lately. Okay, so now let's clean up the white now. There's a few spots that definitely need to be cleaned. And that includes the little crotch plate here. That just stays white with our paint scheme. Make sure we didn't get anything here, which we did. Let's clean that up. That overspill I'm okay with right now. Check on the back. There's this whole bone right here that we want to be a color, so we'll have to do that. Okay. Now we need to clean up the contrast. So let's take our Leviathan blue. And then I guess I missed like all of the underside here of this wrist piece, wrist guard. And then similarly, this, we have some white showing here that we want to clean up. Just want to make sure that all of my armor is covered in the right colors. And sometimes there's like little white dots that will be left behind. So I just want to clean those up as best we can. Also, so talking of white dots, there's some there. So there's the blue. Let's go to our, let me see that. Should be fine. Yeah, let's go to our brown. Where is it? Gordrakk Fist. So we have some stuff on the back here that's a little funky. Let's just put that on it. Same thing here. There's like a little gap there that we missed. So just cleaning that up the best we can. And just like as I noticed, like the pieces that we missed, I'm going in and hitting them with this, like we didn't get the front here with our gray. Just make sure we get that. And then, oh shit, we gotta go back to the blue because there are some danglies on this guy that we want to be blue. So I want that one, and let's take like this one here. So we got these guys painted. And then he has some in his back right here. So this guy right here, let's take that and paint it blue just so we have that. Okay, now we gotta go to the red. Our red contrast that we've been using. And then do the same thing. We hit our knee pad over here. And contrast can go over gray paint, so we're okay there in that respect. I think for this one, I'm gonna paint this red just because it's kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. And if it's white, I don't think it's gonna show up very well, especially since it's next to this other piece. And we're gonna get some of our metal to get the little ring on it painted. And then there's like this little piece next to this. We'll paint that silver, silver as well. Okay. Then we continue with our red. I think we can go, let's go red here and red here, because we're gonna leave that big one white. So red here and the far one. So just double check which side is which when you're doing it so you don't mess up. Okay, and then this one here can be red as well to not kind of mess with that stuff. There's kind of like a metal plate looking thing on it, so we could take our blue and kind of attempt to just get the little top like metal-y bit like this. And then when we come in with the wash, it'll just get the other part. Okay. So again, while we're here, we're taking our time to clean up the whites that we need to, like this whole back end here got hit. And then the side of this was also messed up. I'm just taking those little opportunities to get those clean. Now let's go to contrast paint. We're gonna use this one, the Dark Oath Flesh, for like the bull skull, because it looks like it still has like flesh attached to it. So we're not gonna it's not like a skull. So let's just take this and then brush it over the entirety of this right here. So get all of that painted like that, up into here, all the way over to here. So let me just kind of use this back here as that part. Okay, so there's that. And then now we can do some washes, because I think it's had enough time to dry on a lot of places that we're gonna be doing this stuff. So first things first, we do our black, no, we'll do that last. We'll do our brown washes. So get our Agrax Earthshade right here. No, that's the brown. Wait, who said brown? Did I say brown first? I did say brown first. Okay, so we're taking our brown, giving it a good shake. Well, that wasn't a good shake, that was just a shake. Okay. So now we're gonna go over all the bones on this guy and the fur here. So we'll just get here, get this bone painted. It's a little bubbly. I don't know why it's so bubbly. So the good thing about having a skull in here, excuse me, is that it's just literally the same paint as going on the skull that's going onto the beard and everything. So you can kind of just big ol' wash that. Same thing on the metallics right here. This little, I think this is like a Stormcast helmet or something. Down here, I think it's like a Paladin's helmet. But we'll just do this to it and pretend that we know what we're doing. Oops. Not like that though, because that's that's showing that we don't know what we're doing if we just kind of doing that with it. And then we got to hit these chains again also. So just kind of work on it as we're working on it. Get underneath here. Get this whole spiky on the front here and on the back. The chainmail as well. And same thing on this side, this whole piece of tusk right here. Just, oops. My hands are really shaky, but you guys knew that. And then we get the chainmail as well, and then the chains here, just making sure we didn't miss any spots. Okay, then we rotate. There's a bone here that I want to get. Then we rotate this again. Oh wait, yeah, we did want to get this, so hold on. Let's wash that. The chain here. Get here, flip this around. Go like this. Get this piece right here, and then this right there. Okay, and then we got to get the chain and this chain that we just had to repaint, and then the bones on this part of him. And rotate again. No things on that side, except the front of the chain here. Just kind of dig in there for that. Okay, so now we go to the black wash of Nuln Oil. We'll do that on the pants and the wrists. And that should be, and the weapons. And then that should be good. So let's start here on this axe. I've been debating if I want to do it on the white or not, if I want to wash the whites. So far I'm leaning towards no, but I reserve the right to change my mind in the future. Like I've changed my mind so many other times on this project. So let's get in here and get these pants all brushed with the black. It's gonna be a little, sorry if you can't see really great right now because gotta get in there. Let's go here, under here, on top here. It's just a little tight in here. So let's get all of those. Okay, and then we've got the wrist guards in the front here, followed by the axe. Okay. Then we got the wrist wraps here and here that we're also going to be cleaning up. And then we got the back of the pants. It's okay that we're mixing it a little bit with the brown that was in there. It'll just look like dirt. Get back there. Cool, and then we have this little piece on the end here. And I think that does it for his washes. He's got, should I hit everything? Okay. So now he's got some pieces on his mouth that we missed. Like where he has some jewelry in his mouth and stuff that we want to get hit. So let's just get those little piercings painted like that. And then get our white for the teeth and then just go over those. And I think that's it. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Yes, do all those things. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna use Toxic Mist for the eyes. New videos every Wednesday. Watch the podcast if you haven't yet. Leave comments on that. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. So there we have it. Gordrakk, America's Gordrakk. See you guys later.